Hello, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. These are your messages for November. Oh, what have we got here, Cancer? What's going on? The first card that we have coming up as your underlying energy is the Ten of Wands. I don't usually pull clarifiers for readings. I think I'm going to have to for this one. We have the Ten of Wands coming up as your underlying energy. Well, it's the 10. So 10s are the completions of cycles. Wands are all about our energies, the energies that we put out into the world, our passions, our creativities. These can be projects. This is basically a burden that you are carrying. So right now, Cancer, as you start November, or, as we're beginning, we're already into November. So whenever you're watching this, we've got a sense of there being this, you're overburdened with commitments and responsibilities. Now, if this is at work, even if this is at home, if you can delegate for heaven's sake. This is a really heavy burden, but I'm getting the sense from this reading that you're taking on so much and you have to get help. You have to get people to help you. Usually this card on its own doesn't say that, but looking at the rest of this reading, there is that kind of sense coming through here. So the Ten of Wands, it's a burden that we carry. It's almost time to put it down. Like sometimes this can be a project, and when you get into that last leg of the project, when you're right at the end and you've been at it for so long, and it's like you forget why you started it. You started it off with so much excitement, so much vigor, and now you're not sure. Now you're not thinking, why did I ever do this? This is a pain to do. So it can be that end stage of some project or work, or this can just be stress. Like, there's so much stress on you. And I do get that sense that maybe you're taking on too much. You might be taking on someone else's burden. You might be helping out other people too much. Could just be that, there's a lot weighing you down. If you can delegate, if it's actual physical chores that you're doing or things, if you can delegate, please delegate. Please ask for help. Now, we'll see how that plays out in the rest of your reading. The good news, and there is, I guess, always good news in the cards. The Ten of Wands, it says, as you get to, you're at the end now. One, you can put that burden down soon. You complete that cycle. But if you've been working towards something, it's the completion of that. Like, you get that. But let's have a look. So I don't know if it's actual chores. If it's chores and you're doing things for other people, yeah, maybe. But it could just be a decision that's weighing you down. What is going on here? Yeah, we have the Lovers coming up at the heart of your reading. This card's been doing the rounds. It's come up for a few people. Could be a relationship that's weighing you down. It could be, the thing is, on its own, this is not a bad relationship. Yes, there's kind of distance between the two, but there's two people that are very open with each other. They're naked, they're vulnerable, they're saying that this is who I truly am, warts and all, this is me, take it or leave it. So you have this relationship and the union is blessed by an angel. So, this is usually a great relationship, but it does represent a choice. Sometimes we have to make a head or heart decision. Maybe that's the way. You don't know which way to go. There are a lot of these kind of... lots of thoughts going around in our heads kind of cards coming up here. I think there were too many S's in that sentence somewhere, but let's see. And you've been doing this for a while. Look at this. Two of Pentacles coming up at the foundation of your reading. This is a past energy. Look at this guy. Look at him, Taurus. If you've been doing this, I feel for you. No wonder you're carrying that burden of 10 Wands. He's up on one leg and even looks like he's on a spinning top. So he's not even on a firm surface. And he's got this pose and he's juggling these two pentacles. And, he's fixated on those pentacles, of which he would have to be. It takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of effort to keep those pentacles up in the air. What do those pentacles represent for you? Well, those pentacles are everyday decisions that we make. Practical decisions. Pentacles are always the tangible things like work, investments, money, like the day-to-day stuff. But it's stuff that gives us security and stability, right? As much as we say they're little things, those are what make up our life, what give us the security that we live for. Now, with this guy coming up here, and it's like you've been juggling something for a while. You've been trying to keep the balance. I don't know if you've been trying to keep the peace in a situation or, there's been a very difficult situation and you're the only one that's keeping the peace here. But look at this guy. He's like juggling away here, trying to keep the balance. And you can't do this forever. You can't do this forever. And also, while he's focused on the practical things, what is he ignoring? This C here, this represents his emotions. So he's probably not looking at how he feels. And what's coming in on the sea? Are there opportunities coming in? Does that boat even looks like it's half sinking? But yeah, so there's a lot happening there, but he doesn't see because he's focused on this. This can sometimes be that head in the sand card. That's what I call it. Like, you know, when it's like there's so much going on and we focus just on the practical. And sometimes we have to do that, right? We have to ignore our emotions just to kind of get on with something, that something needs our focus. The problem is that when we do that, those emotions don't go away and they get stronger and they build and we can push them down, but they come back up again. Is that why you have the Queen of Cups in your present? Now, usually this would be a great card. I mean, Pisces got this as a past energy and it was quite positive in their reading. I don't see it as being so positive here. This may be that you've been doing that whole, you know, Two of Pentacles thing, juggling act, trying to keep those pentacles up in the air. Now, like, your emotions are back. This is your energy, or this can be another water sign or someone that has those characteristics. Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. This might be someone else's emotions that you're having to deal with. But there is this sense, like the Queen of Cups usually, she's very loving, she's very nurturing, she's very caring. She's very supportive energy. So I really hope that you guys are getting someone like this in your life, that this is who's around to help you, because it looks like you need support right now. It does look like that, Cancer. And she's ready to give a cup of love or friendship. She's ready to offer this out. She sits there ready, waiting to see what comes her way. Now, it may be, I feel like it's a decision related to a relationship. That's what's coming up here. Now, it doesn't have to be that the relationship itself is stressful. It may be that there's stuff going on at work, there's stuff going on in the family, and you're looking for the support, and the support doesn't seem to be there. Now, I'm sorry to say this, but it may just, not just, but it may be because you're not asking for it, you're not saying it. But that's one aspect that's going to apply to a few of you. For the rest of you, it does look like it's a decision that needs to be made. And it's about whether to give or accept this cup to someone. That's what's coming up here. Now, the next two cards, I'm going to read them together because they continue on from each other. We have the Eight of Swords and we have the Nine of Swords. And this is the future energy. And that's your advice. Now, I think this is more of a cautionary kind of tale here rather than this. Because, all right, let's start off with this one. The Eight of Swords. Both of these cards, I mean, swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them. And yet, out of all of the swords, these are probably the two main ones. There's no communication here. There's no communication here. Why? Because this one is we're trapped. We're trapped by our thoughts. These are those thoughts that come in and say, you know, you can't do that, or this is not what you should be doing, or whatever it is. Like, this is that card that says that. It's keeping us trapped. Now, she's not actually tied to anything. It's saying you might want to make big changes, but you can't make big changes at this time because, you know, she's bound. Like, she can't exactly just leap and jump and her arms are tied, but she could hop away. She could make small changes. This is more that we feel we have no options. However, the Lovers on top of this is saying you do have options. You have a choice here. It's a head or heart choice that needs to be made. Either you don't feel ready to make the choice or you don't feel like there is a choice. Now, the other thing could be that you're waiting on someone else to make a decision and this is how you're feeling. This is not, like, usually this energy, the advice energy, comes before this. But in the tarot, this is a continuation. That's why I'm reading these two together. So we have the Eight of Swords here, where you feel trapped by your thoughts. Now, when you feel trapped by your thoughts, what happens? This happens. The Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is about, look, she's trying to sleep, but she can't. Sleepless nights, insomnia, anxiety, stress. This is where, forget the choices, now we're plagued by those thoughts. They go round and round in our heads. Now, what does... This one says we have options. There's things that we can do. Maybe not huge things. Maybe not the huge leaps or steps that you want to take. But there's something that you can do. This one says, all right, I'm not saying that there's nothing to worry about. Because obviously, no one just wakes up and decides to go like this. No one. No one does that. And there is a burden. There's some burden that you're carrying here. And you've obviously been doing a juggling act. So we know there's stuff going on. So please don't think I'm downplaying what's going on in your lives. But This says the act of going over and over it in your head, round and round and round, it makes it seem even worse than it is. And it seems bad enough as it is. It seems bad enough as it is in the outside world, let alone, with what's going on. And the thing is with this, if this is like, I talked about the positive aspects of the Queen of Cups, the negative is that she can be too emotional. And I don't mean in a bad way. Like, I don't mean to say that, you're being like, per cup, you're being overly emotional. It feels like if that's the case, if emotions are if you're overrun by emotion right now, it's because of this. It's because you've not been able to look at this. That might be for practical reasons. Finances might have been tight. There might have been problems going on in the family or in a relationship that's needed your attention. So yeah, we've got that. That might have been the case. It's not your fault. I'm not blaming you. But those, like I said, those emotions, they come out somewhere, and they are coming out now. It could even be, that's going to play out in so many different ways for each of you. All I can tell you is the energies. They're very stressful. They're very heavy, burdensome. There's a decision that needs to be made, head or heart decision. And yet you feel like there's no way you can make that decision. Like you don't have options. That's how you feel. And I always say you have a choice. But I always get people saying, I don't have a choice, not in this situation. Well, there is a choice. But you don't feel like you're in the best place to kind of deal with this. It's like I can understand this. Like if your emotions come rushing in and you're feeling emotional, maybe you love someone and you don't know what to do about that situation. It's logical to kind of go to your headspace. Like, as I push down the heart stuff. I don't want that. I can't deal with this. And then you go to the headspace. But then that's not helping either. That's trapping you. Like I said, I don't usually put clarifiers, but I'm going to for this. This is horrendous, guys. Come on. I know it's not your fault. You have nothing but my deeper sympathy, but we need to try to get out of this headspace. Let's see if oh, what is this? Yeah, all right. This makes sense. So who do we have popping out? And you saw him fly out there. The King of Cups. That's a couple there. So this is, the love is kind of pointed towards that anyway. But, there is a couple here or a partnership that's causing you a lot of stress. I do feel like someone's not pulling their weight. Otherwise, why would all the burden be on you? And it could be that the burden's on both of you, or the relationship itself has become a burden. But there is a King of Cups here. Now, if you're worried about how someone's feeling, the kind of antidote to these two, that what I always say is, talk to someone about this. Talk to someone about, get these thoughts out of your head. Sometimes it can be a friend, a therapist, whoever it is. But you need to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And, oftentimes just the saying of it is going to, you'll just think, why am I saying this is not right? But or sometimes you can just have, your friend can be like, you don't really believe that, do you? That's not true. God, I've hit the mic. Sorry, I'm getting so kind of into your reading. Ooh. All right, so we pulled another one. It's like you're waiting for an answer. You're waiting for something. Three of Wands. I'm going to pull one more. And then. So we get an idea of what all this is about. Okay. Yeah, this is as I thought. This is what I got this sense as soon as I started this reading. So, okay, these are the clarifiers. So we've got the King of Cups, right? I'll show you these because they're not up on the side. So we have the King of Cups coming up here. So that's the partnership. This is the perfect companion to the Queen of Cups. But is he he's nurturing, he's loving, he's caring, he's supportive, he's all of those things. He's the family man. But sometimes he doesn't always express how he feels. So there seems to be questions about a relationship here. What are those questions about? Well, this is about waiting for your ships to come in. You're waiting for something. Can be when you're waiting for news. But whatever it is that you're waiting for, it's something that you're expecting. Maybe that's what's causing the stress, that you're waiting for this. And then you have the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is give and take. This is what I mean. There's no equal giving and receiving here. The Six of Pentacles always talks about balance. Balance. It's called a charity card, but they both give and receive equally. These people here, they receive the money, yes, but they're also giving him the opportunity to do something good. So there's giving and receiving here. Now, the reason I pull those is that whenever these kinds of energies come up in the future, they don't actually predict the future, or they're an indication of how we see the future. And that's what you see. You see stress, you see anxiety, there's bleakness, there's nothing there. That's what you're seeing. So to get out of that space, please understand that there is a partnership here. This question, I mean, is going to work out differently. This could be someone who comes in to support you. This could be someone who helps lift the burden. This could be what the burden is, the partnership with the King and Queen of Cups. Because, you know, they're a couple. This could be problems in a marriage, a relationship, a business partnership, although they're emotions usually. But because you guys are cups, it may be that any kind of partnership. Someone's waiting for some news and there's no kind of equal giving and receiving. But I do think communication is going to solve a lot of this. If you just say this, it doesn't have to even be to the other person. If you can say this to a friend, if you can say this to, you know, a counselor, a therapist, a spiritual advisor, whoever it is that you trust. All right, let's have a look at your oracle cards. So the very first one that I have coming up for you is express your love. And it says, go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Now, that sounds all kind of fluffy and nice, but after what I just saw there, who are you waiting to express their love? Is this what this is for? I mean, Aquarius got something similar. You guys, and Cancer and Aquarius, I swear, I don't know what goes on with you guys, but Aquarius kind of got that they were kind of waiting on something, but not too sure. And they were doing this same thing that you guys have been doing. Like dealing with practical stuff. I'll get on with something else while I'm waiting for this. Like I won't drive myself nuts waiting for this thing to come in. But you guys, it's more of a burden. It's really weighing on you. And yeah, you're expecting something back. This can be news from overseas. This can be an application that we've put in for something, or, you know, we've declared something to someone and we're waiting for news back. Energies do work both ways. So some of these energies might not be yours. You might be dealing with someone like this. But when we have express your love, that's very clear, right? It may be time, even if it's not, like, express something. Get this out of your head. Get these thoughts out. Say them. They have less power once you say them. Okay. Then we have from the Whispers of Love, number 43, love endures. And it says, love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. Is that what's going on? Are you worried that some relationship is over? Are you waiting on, like, is that what this is? Waiting on some decision? Because look, there is a couple here as well, but there's distance between them. They're not together. So has something come between you two? Are you in a long distance relationship maybe, and you're figuring out? That's been coming up for a few people actually, that kind of a message. Okay, then we have from the Wisdom of the Oracle, number 31, why? Very important question that we can ask, and this one always gets washed out. Hopefully you can see it clearly on the side, but why? That's what this card says, why? And that's a very good question. And it's not this energy, actually. It's not this energy. This looks like these people might be saying, why is this happening? Why is that? They're not trapped by the whys. They're trapped by the fears and the thoughts and the anxiety that the worst is going to happen. What are people saying about me? Is that, what does this person think? It's that. So what could solve this is the why of it. Why? Why are you stuck? Why are you bound? Why are you, have this anxiety? Why is this troubling you so much? And like I said, communicating this, swords are about communication, and yet there doesn't seem to be much communication when these two come up. So it's a very important question to ask. I do feel like the clarifiers, they kind of did try to answer that. Why? Because of a partnership relationship, some news that's expected back, waiting on something, the anxiety of that, and there's no balance. The giving and receiving there's a question mark over this. And then the final card that I have for you is the High Lady of Love and Compassion. Someone else got this. I think Sagittarius got this. It's a beautiful card. It's a lovely card. It's about love and compassion. It's about, when we are in our love, when we only like unconditional love that we offer people, when we're in our love and in our compassion, that is reflected back to us. Well, it should be. It should be. You doing the Queen of Cups things, are you giving out love and compassion? And yet it's not coming back to you. Are you giving it to the right people? See, it says on the card, reverence, kindness, and consideration. And this is also about unconditional love. Like, it can be that you love someone and you're unable to have them for whatever reason. Maybe they don't know that you love them, or, they don't know. There could be anything that's happening in that situation. Loads of us are in love with people that don't love us back, or, we're not with them. And that could be like the burden that's here right now. And so she's saying to get into the vibration of love, which is very hard to do. I know it's not easy to do when you've got this. First thing to do is to get out of this. Then you can get back into the vibration of love and compassion. And she says it will come back to you. When you have that kind of love, it will come back to you.